there's been a manipulation of the science, and there's been a very dangerous thing called overdiagnosis that has really afflicted millions of women over the past 30 years, especially for breast cancer. Because what they've done is that they convinced women that if they were to basically subscribe to an X-ray mammography screening, even though they have no symptoms, that ultimately that would help them in the long run. They'd have a lower risk of cancer because they'd find it early.
Early detection is your best protection.
Exactly. They even equated this meme with prevention when in fact you're exposing your breast to a type of radiation that is actually known to have a higher risk of causing cancer in the breast, especially if you have the BRCA1 and 2 gene mutations that everyone is so concerned about, because they make it harder for you to to protect yourself from radiation-induced damage. So overdiagnosis, according to a recent study done in the New England Journal of Medicine, over the past 30 years in the United States resulted in 1.3 million women being diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer that technically never had any type of cancer that would have caused harm. This is called ductal carcinoma in situ, or stage 0 cancer, which they equated with actual cancer, which now we know is not. And so what that basically meant is that they would give them the standard mastectomy or lumpectomy with radiation, with chemotherapy, things like tamoxifen, and then follow up hormone suppressive therapies like Arimidex. So basically what we're dealing with here is a kind of a medical holocaust of sorts, because those women now had to deal with being diagnosed with a cancer they didn't have, being treated for it, having the stigma and all the psycho-spiritual, emotional stress that's caused by that. And then, statistically, the industry told them that they saved their lives, when in fact quite the opposite had happened. So they identify with the aggressor like a Stockholm syndrome, and millions of people march in these breast cancer awareness marches, not realizing that it's funded by the very corporations that make money off the drugs used to treat breast cancer. We're talking about AstraZeneca, which actually is a derivative of Imperial Chemical Industries, who started Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the 80s and has a patent, or had the patent, for tamoxifen and Arimidex. So it's a vicious circle of brainwashing, and it's used to cover up really what has cost the lives, I think, of hundreds of thousands of women ultimately.